Hey, hi everyone. I'm Philip, CEO of CrowdSec, and I used to be a pen tester, but it's not the point today. Back in the days, we speak here around 2000, I had to run a pen test with my team for a very large French customer, really one of the top 40 of them. And it was during the summer times. And there were not so many people in the office, and it was what we call an internal pen test, internal penetration test. So we were within the premises, and we're supposed to see if we can gain access to sensitive part of the network, and if so, how, what, and so on. Basic job. Usually, companies don't stand a chance in this kind of configuration, so they are more looking into how you proceed and how fast you can get to the result, rather than hoping, that they would resist it. Well, anyway, so we come to the premises with my team, and we're actually 4 of us. And because it's a very short timing, we have like 3 days, and we have to look into the security of the network. And we are settled in an office with of the IT department. There's one guy there. We are on the other side of the network of the office with the 4 of us, with desk, classical. We put our laptops. And we start searching, if there are vulnerabilities, weak passwords, things we can trigger on the network, applications that are outdated, misconfigured, and so on and so forth. And at some point, we gain very quickly access to most of the network and most of the critical part of the network, and we start, seeing traffic going through the proxy, which is basically a machine. Going out and grabbing the web pages you ask for and storing a cache and so on. And we see that some machines are excluded, some machines are not filtered, some machines can go directly to the web. And so we start listening to the network, see what we see, what we can listen to. We tap into the pipe, and we start to see terrible things, like really awful, like child pornography. We're like, whoa. That's unexpected, shocking, and what do we do about it? Because, it's not the point of our mission. We have confidentiality clauses applying. You start to enter in the realm of the unplanned problem. And on the other hand, no one could let this go. No one can let this slip away. So being the senior officer in the place, I say, okay, the 3 guys, you go on doing the mission we're paid for by the company, right? It's a personal problem. It's not like a company problem. It's not like if the corporation was breeding voluntarily pedophiles. It's just there's one of them somewhere in the office, and we don't know where. I'm in charge of this one. You take care of the mission. So they go on with exploring the network, and in the meantime, I'm trying to locate where would that person be physically, because we knew by the network design that it would be in this building we're sitting somewhere, but the building is very big actually, so knowing exactly where is not so obvious. And in the meantime, the images go on and go on and go on. It's like a full or catalog that is being downloaded. Like, okay, we have everything we need, we have most of the network accesses. Now how do we locate beyond DOPT? Because that's the problem here. It has to be beyond DOPT. You cannot point a finger at someone, with the least possible doubt about the fact that this person would indeed be the pedophile you're after. And we dig into ways of pinpointing what would be the proper office, what would be the proper door, the proper floor, the proper plug. And there is a system in the networking that is decreasing a number. Okay, it's a time to leave of the packet, because if the packet stopped looping around tons of time, it would die eventually, not to cripple the network performances, or actually to not ruin everything. So all packets that are created with a time to leave, a number that is decreased every time the packet is jumping from one active element to another. So if I have a switch, a second switch, a third switch, and a router, and so on, it would decrease 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times this counter. So we start looking at the type of packet we see and how much the counter has been reduced. Because if you're on the same LAN, it's not reduced, right? If you jump to another line, it's reduced 1 time, another line 2 times, and so on. And we are surprised by the fact that actually the packets are coming from our local network. Like the same floor, literally, the same switch. Like, okay, so basically, within probably 600 square meters around us is the person we're looking for. Which was actually also a stroke of luck, because he could have been like further away in places we couldn't access. But hey, it was on the same floor. So we went to the switch, the place physically where the switches are, and we looked at the IP port, the port on the switch that would be blinking fast, and also we correlate that to the rhythm at which the images are downloaded. And when there's a stop, we look when it stops, and when there's a start, we look when it stops. Basically, we put a camera and we look at the physical diode activity on the switch. And we can see that at some point it stops fairly, all of a sudden this port is not pumping anymore. And we check the association between the number on the port of the switch and the plug number. And on the lunch break, when it stopped, we went around the place and we looked at the physical number in the walls, the number of the plugs in the walls. And also, we could find a kind of a map, treasure map of the organization, more or less, of the network, floor by floor. So we quickly figured out that actually the person that was downloading all these terrible images was the guy sitting in front of us, on the other side of the very same office we were sitting in. He was looking at us, literally, when doing this. He had no clue what we were doing here. He had no clue we were a pen test team. So basically we were more or less undercover. We were supposed to run a job for the CTO. So he had no clue about what we were up to. And we could correlate beyond that everything to his plug. And we could also see the pattern of activity when he was there physically or not, where the download were stopping or not. So beyond possible doubt, we collected evidence. We collected the place where the person was working. We finished our mission, gave back our report to the CTO, not mentioning anything about that person, and made an anonymous denunciation to the police station close by, with everything on the DVD, burnt on the DVD, with the person's name, position in the company, physical position in the premises, and everything so that they could actually catch a person live themselves. I have to say that was one of the most shocking operations I ever had to run, because you're not equipped mentally to see these kind of things. You're not equipped mentally. You have to think coldly on how you deal with this so that this person cannot possibly escape tribunals. You're not the judge, you're not the jury, you're not the police. The only thing you can do is help them identify a pedophile that is dangerous. And hopefully this is what we did that day. Those images are still in our mind at some point. And it's one down, and hopefully the police did a good job and got a network behind it. I don't actually know what happened to that person or the network behind them, nor to the website they were visiting. But I hope we helped a bit that day.